Hi, I'm Daniel from Ratings.com. Today, we're testing one of LG's 2018 OLED TVs, the C8. It is an excellent TV with perfectly deep blacks, which is very impressive when viewed in a dark room. The excellent picture quality is very similar to last year's LG OLEDs. This year's model improves the gradient handling and adds a black frame insertion feature to clear up motion when gaming. We bought the 55-inch size to test, but it also comes in 65 and 77 inches. We do expect the whole lineup to have very similar performance, but larger sizes usually have more uniformity issues. We'll go over the design of the TV and then focus on the picture quality. We'll then look at the motion handling and input lag before comparing to competing models currently on the market. The design of the C8 is impressive, and it stands out in any room. It looks a lot like the C7 from last year, but the curved section at the front of the stand is designed to redirect sound from the down-facing speakers out the front. The large size of this does mean you'll need quite a large table though. The inputs are located on the left-hand side and rear of the TV. The ones out the back may be hard to access if you place it near a wall. The TV is exceptionally thin when viewed from the side, so you should take care when moving it, despite the excellent build quality. If we take a thermal picture of the TV, we can see the heat is relatively evenly distributed. This is because each subpixel produces its own light. You can also see the location of the electronics behind the display. Now to the picture quality. We'll be comparing to TVs which are currently available, but this will change as more models are released throughout the year. For an updated comparison with new models as we buy and test them, see the review page on our website, which is linked below. The C8 and other OLED TVs can completely turn off pixels to produce perfectly deep blacks. This is especially impressive in a dark room and results in deep and detailed dark scenes. This also means that there is no need for local dimming, as the only blooming is a result of reflections, either in the glass or in the lens of our camera. This also results in an excellent darkroom performance. When viewed at an angle, the colors do change a bit, but not as much as other TVs. This is great for those with wide seating, as even those off to the side have excellent picture quality. This is much better than TVs with V8 panels, such as the Sony X900F and Samsung Q8FN. The reflection handling of the TV is excellent. The glossy finish does result in defined reflections, but the coating is excellent at reducing their intensity. This does result in a purple tint though, which is obvious when the TV is off. The TV is great at producing bright HDR highlights, with just over 900 nits in small areas and around 700 nits in real scenes. This is the same ballpark as last year's OLEDs. If we look at the distribution of the HDR real scene peak brightness results, we can see that very few TVs we've tested can get brighter with small highlights. Note that the full screen brightness is a very different story. An automatic brightness limiter, or ABL, restricts the TV from drawing too much power, which causes the screen brightness to change depending on the content. In most situations, this isn't noticeable, but large, bright areas, such as the ice in a hockey game or with PC use, cause this function to limit the whole screen brightness to around 200 nits. This also means if you've got a very bright room, then a very bright LED TV may be worth it. Like other OLED TVs, the 50% gray uniformity is excellent and better than LCD TVs. This means that the dirty screen effect isn't an issue when watching sports such as hockey or football. Very dark grays do show some banding though when viewed in a dark room, which may be noticeable in dark scenes. This varies on a unit-by-unit basis, but it is a common result for OLEDs. The TV supports a wide color gamut, so it can produce saturated HDR highlights. It isn't as wide as Samsung's QLED line of TVs, but it can produce saturated colors even in very dark scenes. The C8 and other OLED TVs use an organic compound to emit light. This will degrade with usage, so there may be a chance of burn-in if you watch content with the same static elements. For normal use though, this is unlikely to cause any issues. You can see our ongoing investigation into OLED burn-in in the video series linked below. The response time of the C8 and other OLED TVs is instantaneous. This means that almost no trail is seen following fast-moving content, which is great for gaming or watching sports. Unfortunately, this also means that there is no blur to smooth between the frames of low frame rate movies. This can produce jarring movement for long, slow panning shots in movies. This is the first LG TV we've tested to support a black frame insertion feature. This quite literally inserts a black frame between every frame of 60 Hz content. It works well to clear up persistence blur, which is useful for gamers. It does produce noticeable flicker though, and causes the screen brightness to drop significantly, so we don't recommend it for other uses. It also isn't possible with a 120 Hz signal from a PC, and causes every second frame to be lost. The input lag of the C8 is very low, similar to last year's OLEDs. The TV feels very responsive, with both 1080p and 4K signals, which is great for new consoles or PC gaming. Looking at the input lag distribution of all the TVs on our current test bench, we can see these results in context. The C8 has lower input lag than most of the TVs we've tested, which is great. The smart platform of the C8 is great. It's very intuitive to navigate, especially using the pointer built into the remote. It feels smooth and responsive, and the voice control works well to search for content, change inputs, and access settings. So overall, the C8 offers excellent performance with the same impressive picture quality we've come to expect from an OLED TV. It isn't perfect though, as the peak brightness changes depending on the content. Those who play a lot of one game or watch one channel may be concerned about burn-in too, in which case one of these LCD TVs may be a better choice. Compared to last year's LG OLEDs, there are only marginal performance improvements, such as the addition of black frame insertion and smoother gradients. This isn't worth spending much more on though, so most people should just go with whichever is cheaper. Samsung's 2018 QLED TVs, such as the Q9FN, are able to produce some of the brightest and most vivid colors of any TVs we've tested. Although their high-end QLEDs have full-array local dimming, they can't quite compete with the perfect blacks of an OLED in a dark room. For a bright room though, a QLED like the Q9FN may be a better choice if you can afford it. The Sony X900F is an LED TV with great picture quality. It can't produce the perfect blacks of an OLED, but is a very strong performer across the board. If you're looking to save some money, but still want an impressive HDR experience, then the X900F is the way to go. LG's IPS TVs, such as the SK9000, have a low native contrast ratio, so blacks appear grey in a dark room. This isn't noticeable in a bright room though, and the image also remains accurate when viewed at an angle. For a bright room with wide seating, it may not be worth spending more for the C8, but in a dark room, an OLED is a much better choice. So that's it. You can check out all of the measurements on our website. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel or become a contributor. Also, we're currently hiring in our offices in Montreal for various positions. So if you want to help people find the best product for their needs, have a look at the careers page on our website. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.